Okay, so Kyrie Irving is in the news today because of his vaccine stance. And yeah, let's just get into that. Now, first thing I'd like to point out is Kyrie has been unfairly criticized by the media in the past. There's no denying it. In his stint in Cleveland and in Boston, and him leading up to joining with Kevin Durant in Brooklyn a few years ago, he's been unfairly criticized, and he has said some dumb stuff in the past, like how he believes that the Earth is flat. But it's not surprising to me because that is on brand for Kyrie with his whole anti-vaccine stance. So there's that. But when it comes to the Brooklyn Nets, how this affects them, well, he's putting them in a really difficult situation because with the protocols in the NBA, and when it comes to certain states like California and New York, yeah, he's gonna have to miss games when they're playing there. So when it comes to Brooklyn, I believe he'll miss like half the home games. But when it comes to the California teams, I just don't think he'll be able to play there. So they play the Clippers, the Lakers, the Kings, and the Warriors. They play them 8 times, 4 at home, 4 away. Going to assume he misses all those away games and he misses half the home games. So that's 6 games that he doesn't play in. And while those 6 to 8 games are very insignificant in the bigger picture of the 82 game season, it does mean a lot when it comes to seeding, because I believe that Brooklyn Nets, if they were the first seed last year, and they have to deal with those injuries with Kyrie and James Harden, they only have to worry about Philadelphia or Milwaukee into the conference finals. That puts them in a way better chance for the championship. But being that they got a bad draw with Milwaukee in the second round, and you got Kyrie and James Harden getting injured, and they go to a 7-game series, if they play another team, they probably advance, and that gives them time to rest up and heal, and they'll be ready to make a finals push. But they got the bad draw. They ran up against Milwaukee and Giannis in the second round, and yeah, it took them 7 games. They lost, and Milwaukee ends up being the champions. So yeah, it's just that. And Kyrie isn't the most healthy player by any means. Like he'll miss a couple of games in the bumps and bruises of the regular season, and he's going to be missing those games because of injury and when it comes to the protocols. So yeah, I don't like it. If I'm the Brooklyn Nets, I don't like it at all. And this also means that Nick Wright was correct with the rumors of Brooklyn trying to move him with these recent developments in his vaccine stance. Like, because Kyrie's staff reported that, oh well, if the Brooklyn Nets traded him, he would just outright retire. So he's putting them in a bad spot when it comes to moving him, and when it comes to him actually playing for the team. Yeah, it's just a mess. It's just a mess. And there's other players that have similar stance when it comes to the vaccine. Players like Andrew Wiggins of the Golden State Warriors, Jonathan Isaac of the Orlando Magic, and Bradley Beal of the Washington Wizards. And yeah, I'm not gonna act like I'm gonna entertain the nonsense of these guys are saying, because Bradley Beal said that he didn't get sick from COVID. Oh, he just lost his sense of smell. Yeah, you lost one of your senses, but you didn't get sick. Alright, buddy. And that's the reason why you missed the Olympics, because of COVID. When it comes to Jonathan Isaac, and with him not, believing the science, yeah, he'll believe the science of those doctors that, took the time to, repair his knee, but not for, the COVID vaccine. Yeah, whatever. And then again, the Orlando Magic and Jonathan Isaac, that's just not good enough for me to care about his vaccine status. So let me just get that out the way. Yeah, the Washington Wizards, they're not going to be able to do anything, make any serious noise, because they had Westbrook and Beal, which is better than the collective of Beal and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Kyle Kuzma, Spencer Dinwiddie, Montrezl Harrell. So yeah, they're not going to make any serious noise in the playoffs. So while Bradley Beal is a great player, his team isn't good enough for this to matter in the the real sense of things. Andrew Wiggins, he plays in California, which is an issue because of that state's protocols when it comes to the vaccine in the NBA. So he's going to be missing these home games. So what, he'll be missing like what, 20, 40 games? I think it'll be like 40 for the home games. So yeah, he's going to be missing a lot of games, which is going to impact the Warriors' chance of getting a good seed. And you don't know how Klay Thompson's going to return. I believe Klay Thompson returns and he's good, but his defense is going to be severely compromised. And you would rather have a unit of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Wiggins, and Draymond, while you got Steph and Klay doing the shooting, and you have Wiggins providing an additional scoring punch while also playing some defense, and the same with Draymond. But yeah, he puts his team in a tough spot as well, and that's because of the team he actually plays for. And then Kyrie has the most unique circumstance because he plays in New York, when he'll miss a ton of games because of the protocol. and that team actually has championship aspirations. So it's just a tough situation, man. It really is. If I was the Brooklyn Nets, I would try to move him, but based off these reports of him, wanting to retire if he gets traded, can you really move him or not? And do you want to deal with the distraction of him, with his vaccine status throughout, the course of an 82-game season? I wouldn't. Because while I believe that depth is overrated, for depth to be overrated, you need those star players to produce on the court. And if he's missing games because of protocol or even injury, then, what was the point of, making this big three of James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving if he's going to be missing a big portion of games? Because they didn't get to play that many games last year because of injury, and now you got injury on top of the protocol while Kyrie will not be playing games. So, yeah, it's a raw deal, man. It's a raw deal for the Brooklyn Nets. He's compromising his team's chance to win a championship, but honestly, I don't care. The reason why I don't care is because I'm a Lakers fan. But you would like to see them play as many games as they possibly can, because you didn't get to see that much last year with the Brooklyn Nets with their big three. I believe they only played 12 to 15 games, and they did really well when they played those games, but it was only 12 to 15 because of injury. You would like to see them build more chemistry and just play more entertaining basketball. But if Kyrie's vaccine status and his stance prevent him from playing games, then yeah, you're gonna be setting your team up. Because they're not gonna fail. I still think they make the playoffs, but when it comes to winning a championship, yeah, it's definitely harms them, because even if you don't play an LA team or a California team in the finals, he's still missing those home games in the playoffs for his own team. And yeah, those games are even more important because it's a 4-game series. Well, it's a best of 4 series, and if he's missing 2 home games and they have home court advantage, so, you're kind of wasting that home court advantage. You can't use your best players in all 4 of those games, even with the 7 games. And if they don't have home court advantage, then, that's even worse, because if they don't have home court advantage and they're playing against an LA team, then how many games can you really get out of him? It's a bad situation, man. I really feel for our Brooklyn Nets fans, because if they play against the Lakers and he's not able to play these games because they're playing in California and they're going back to New York because of his vaccine stance, yeah, it's going to really set them up failure. But honestly, I don't think any of these players are big enough to jeopardize the league, suspending and canceling games. So I recommend Kyrie get vaccinated. But if he doesn't, he doesn't. And I believe the league will step in, to make some really harsh decisions when it comes to players in the vaccine stance. But we just gotta wait the next couple of weeks. But without the way, ladies and gentlemen, y'all stay safe. I'll cover Lakers Media Day tomorrow, and I'm out.